Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us in the second edition of the ISNR webinar series, Managing Amid the COVID-19 Crisis. When health service workers were on the front line battling the COVID-19 virus, law enforcement forces were close behind, joining the fight and encountering novel challenges. They enforce new regulations as well as anticipating the rise of new criminal opportunities. Policing in the time of pandemic, supporting the front line and preparing to the future is the theme of today's webinar. The webinar is divided into three parts. First part is keynote addresses underlining the UAE and the GCC policing commitments. Second part is panel presentations on the last COVID-19 challenges and solutions. Third part is a Q&A session dedicated to the audience questions related to the topic discussed during the webinar, followed by closing notes. New missions for policing in the UAE and the GCC, leadership and achievements is the title of the webinar first part. The part includes the official opening note by the chairman of ISNR Abu Dhabi Higher Organizing Committee, along with two keynote addresses from Abu Dhabi Police and the GCC Board. Over the past years, our official speaker has led the ISNR Abu Dhabi exhibitions from one success to another, ensuring its position among major international events. He is also an esteemed member of the Interpol Executive Committee as delegate for Asia. I would like you to join me in welcoming His Excellency Major General Ahmed Nasser Al-Raisi, Inspector General at UAE Ministry of Interior. Major General, the audience is yours.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning, and it's also good afternoon for the participants from Far East. To our attendees, our partners, and those who have joined us today for the ISNR Abu Dhabi exclusive webinar series, I say welcome. Firstly, let me say it gives me a great pleasure to join you here today as we convene in what is a truly remarkable time. The circumstances that have resulted in us meeting virtually are passing. However, the technology that has kept us safe during the last few months will remain. As we gather here today online, it's a confirmation that disease indeed does not respect borders. The world in its entirety has been impacted, but the level to which this impact disturbs our life is down to us. It lies in our hands in the form of strategic planning, technology, and innovation. As we see the day-to-day life of those around the world disturbed, we count ourselves privileged. This week, the UAE ranked 11 in the world for our response to the panic. This is a testament to the efficiency of our government in areas including quarantine, health preparedness, and national security. Responding, planning, and preparation have been key in mitigating the effect of the pandemic. A smart nation of the UAE residents were able to live comfortably while quarantined, with the most of their day-to-day daily needs taken care of online. We stand here today not because of the efforts of one, but the collective efforts of many. Our frontline health workers, sanitization team, our medical staff, and of course, our national forces and police. These entities are the very backbone of our achievement. The collective strength of all police forces in the UAE is testament to what can we achieve when a clear strategic direction comes together with the hard work and is supported by the very latest innovation. You have all been with us in the journey over the last few months and have witnessed the combined achievement of the health authority and security forces. Our forces have implemented a number of technological advancements to improve operational efficiency and outcomes, especially in the time when there is a great pressure on resources and public feels unsettled. We have strategically built our capabilities and over the decade developed our own strategies of coping with the unexpected. Today, the residents of the UAE enjoys the benefits. However, this is not a solution that was built in a few days. It's the result of years of planning, building the knowledge base of why and how police select, implement, and integrate new technology, how that technology is being used, and whether new technology improves policing in a meaningful way for both the forces and the community. Without our forces working every day for our safety, we take a great care in protecting their welfare, ensuring they have the tools and the support necessary to lead healthy and fruitful life while in service. It is very attention given to security personnel and projects led by clear vision for implementing the best programs in the country that has delivered the benefits to the people of the UAE. Lately, we have been confronted with series of challenges. The challenges may be new, but its impact is indeed presented. A young country, we have had many complexity and concerns, which under the estimate leadership of this country, we have overcome. I would like to take the opportunity to thank all police forces for their amazing efforts, their central role on the front line. And to that end, I thank ISNR Abu Dhabi for their continued work in bringing forth and welcoming you to the ISNR Abu Dhabi web series. Thank you very much.
Major General, thank you for your words and ongoing guidance. Our first keynote address emphasizes how the Abu Dhabi Police General Command manages the sorry, I missed something. How the Abu Dhabi Police General Command manages to pursue its vision in enhancing national security during and after the COVID-19 pandemic. To deliver this address, I would like you to join me in welcoming Colonel Khalfan Abdullah Al-Mansouri, Deputy Director of the Center for Strategy and Institutional Development at Abu Dhabi Police. Colonel Khalfan, the audience is yours.
صبحكم الله بالخير جميعا. حضور الكريم، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بداية أنقل لكم تحيات سيدي مع اللواء ركن الطيار فارس خلف المزروعي قائد عام شرطة أبو ظبي، وسيدي سعادة اللواء محمد الشريفي مدير عام شرطة أبو ظبي. ويسعدني حضوركم والاجتماع بكم عن بعد في المعرض الدولي للأمن الوطني ودرء المخاطر ISNR أبو ظبي 2020، والذي جاء متزامنا مع إعلان سيدي صاحب السمو الشيخ محمد بن راشد آل مكتوم نائب رئيس الدولة رئيس مجلس الوزراء حاكم دبي الشهر الماضي بالعمل على صياغة استراتيجية دولة الإمارات لما بعد كوفيد-19، حيث بدأ سموه الاجتماع بكلمة أشاد فيها بسيدي صاحب السمو الشيخ محمد بن زايد آل نهيان ولي عهد أبو ظبي نائب القائد الأعلى للقوات المسلحة حفظه الله في تعامله مع أزمة كورونا على جميع الأصعدة المحلية والإقليمية والدولية، والتي عكست صورة الدولة الإنسانية في التعامل مع الأخ والصديق في وقت الأزمات. مؤكدا سموه قائلا أن وقفة الأخ والصديق والقائد محمد بن زايد ومواقفه ومتابعته وكلماته تشكل مفخرة للجميع وستظل مسطرة في تاريخ دولة الإمارات. كذلك يطيب لي أن أعلمكم أن مسيرة الخير والعطاء تستمر في دولتنا بتحقيق الريادة والتميز والنتائج الإيجابية والإنجازات من مختلف المجالات، حيث واصلت أبو ظبي تصدرها قائمة المدن الأكثر أمانا في العالم للعام الرابع، وتقدمت على 373 مدينة حول العالم للعام الرابع على التوالي وفقا لمؤشر موقع الانبيو الأمريكي المتخصص في رصد تفاصيل المعيشة بأغلب بلدان العالم. الحضور الكريم، في ثنايا استراتيجية دولة الإمارات لما بعد كوفيد-19 دلالة صريحة على أن دولة الإمارات قيادة وحكومة ومؤسسات أصبحت أكثر انفتاحا ومرونة وأكثر إصرارا على حماية الأرواح والاقتصاد والمكتسبات. ولقد سارت حكومة أبو ظبي المحلية على نفس خطى حكومة الدولة، فنفذت سلسلة من الإجراءات الاحترازية والوقائية جاءت جميعها ضمن استراتيجيتها للحد من انتشار الفيروس بعد دراسات شاملة ومعرفة علمية وعملية. ولعل من أهم هذه القطاعات التي أولتها حكومة أبو ظبي اهتماما كبيرا وقطاع الأمن الذي لعبت فيه القيادة العامة لشرطة أبو ظبي دورا محوريا ورئيسيا. وسأعرض على حضراتكم المحاور التالية: جهود القيادة العامة لشرطة أبو ظبي لتعزيز الأمن الوطني أثناء فيروس كوفيد-19 في محاور الأمن الصحي الوقائي والأمن الاقتصادي والأمن المجتمعي. وكيف استطاعت القيادة العامة لشرطة أبو ظبي الاستمرار في تحقيق رؤيتها أثناء فيروس كوفيد-19 وكذلك منظومة شرطة أبو ظبي المؤسسية الأمنية لما بعد كوفيد-19. أولا فيما يتعلق بجهود القيادة العامة لشرطة أبو ظبي لتعزيز الأمن الوطني أثناء فيروس كوفيد-19 والذي جاء في عدة مجالات أمنية لتشمل الأمن الصحي الوقائي والأمن الاقتصادي والأمن المجتمعي على النحو التالي. أولا فيما يتعلق بجهود الشرطة لتعزيز الأمن الصحي الوقائي، أطلقت شرطة أبو ظبي مركزا متنقلا لفحص فيروس كوفيد-19 لدعم الإجراءات الاحترازية والحفاظ على صحة وسلامة المجتمع. كما نفذت شرطة أبو ظبي ما يزيد عن 48,000 عملية تطهير بالتنسيق مع شركة أبو ظبي للخدمات الصحية. كذلك لا زالت شرطة أبو ظبي تؤمن جهود برنامج التعقيم الوطني على مستوى مناطق ومدن ومرافق ووسائل النقل العام في إمارة أبو ظبي. أما من ناحية تعزيز الأمن الاقتصادي، قامت شرطة أبو ظبي بالجهود التالية، حيث أعلنت شرطة أبو ظبي قرارا يعفي المركبات التجارية من رسوم التسجيل اعتبارا من 16 مارس 2020 ولغاية نهاية هذا العام، وذلك في إطار حزمة الحوافز الاقتصادية التي أطلقتها حكومة أبو ظبي ضمن برنامج غدا 21. وأطلقت شرطة أبو ظبي مبادرة الدفع المبكر للمخالفات المرورية، حيث يتم بموجبها تخفيض قيمة المخالفات المرورية بنسب بين 25 و35 و50% حسب نوع المخالفة ووقت تسجيلها. كما سهلت شرطة أبو ظبي سبل الدفع للمتعاملين من خلال القنوات الرقمية مثل الموقع الإلكتروني وتطبيق الهواتف الذكية، ويهدف التخفيض لتحفيز أفراد المجتمع على الالتزام بالنظم والقوانين وإلى الحد من المخالفات المرورية. ولم تدخر شرطة أبو ظبي جهدها في تعزيز الأمن المجتمعي، فقامت بالأعمال التالية: شاركت شرطة أبو ظبي بالخوذة الذكية الحرارية في حملة للتبرع بالدم للكشف عن محتمل إصابتهم بفيروس كوفيد-19. ونفذت دوريات الخيالة بشرطة أبو ظبي مبادرة تحت شعار من أجل سلامتكم، تضمنت توزيع الكمامات والقفازات على قاطني الأحياء السكنية. نفذت شرطة أبو ظبي كذلك قرار بتقييد التنقل المؤقت للأفراد بين مدن أبو ظبي وكذلك التنقل من وإلى الإمارة استكمالا لسلسلة الإجراءات الوقائية للحد من انتشار الفيروس. كما نفذت شرطة أبو ظبي امتحانات نهاية العام الدراسي لفئة الأحداث عن بعد بالتعاون مع دائرة التعليم والمعرفة بأبو ظبي ووفق الإجراءات الاحترازية والوقائية. وأطلقت شرطة أبو ظبي المبادرة الوقائية تسوق آمن، وبثت مواد إعلامية توعوية باللغات الثلاث العربية والإنجليزية والأردو عبر شاشات العرض الموجودة داخل المراكز التجارية لتعزيز صحة وسلامة مبتدئي المراكز التجارية. التحق كذلك عدد من طلاب وطالبات التخصصات الطبية من منتسبي شرطة أبو ظبي بمراكز المسح الوطني لدعم جهود الفرق الطبية ميدانيا. وأطلقت شرطة أبو ظبي خدمة الاستشارات الاجتماعية والتي تهدف إلى التواصل مع جميع فئات المجتمع وتقديم الاستشارات الإلكترونية للحصول على مخرجات آمنة وإيجابية في ظروف أزمة كورونا. وأطلقت شرطة أبو ظبي مبادرة أتاحت من خلالها للمتعاملين إمكانية تجديد ملكيات مركباتهم المنتهية من تاريخ الأول من أكتوبر الماضي وحتى تاريخه، بغض النظر عن المخالفة المرورية وحجز المركبة والنقاط المرورية والفحص الفني. سأوضح الآن كيف استطاعت القيادة العامة لشرطة أبو ظبي الاستمرار في تحقيق رؤيتها أثناء الجائحة، والمتمثل في استمرار إمارة أبو ظبي كمجتمع ينعم بالأمن والسلامة من خلال تقديم خدمات شرطية عالية الجودة للمواطنين والمقيمين في الإمارة وزوارها. حيث حرصت شرطة أبو ظبي على ضمان استمرارية الأعمال وتقديم الخدمات للمواطنين والمقيمين وفق معايير ونظم دقيقة. فقد قدمت شرطة أبو ظبي كافة الخدمات الحيوية لجميع المتعاملين عن بعد على مدار الساعة بكفاءة عالية عبر قنواتها الذكية. وأسهم قرار حكومة الإمارات بتفعيل نظام العمل عن بعد في شرطة أبو ظبي في دعم استمرار انسيابية العمل وكفاءته في مختلف القطاعات بالاعتماد على البنية التحتية التكنولوجية في شرطة أبو ظبي والمدعومة بالتقنيات والتكنولوجيا ذات المواصفات العالمية. بل واستطاعت شرطة أبو ظبي ممارسة أعمالها برشاقة وعلى ضوء التغييرات السريعة التي تشهدها الإمارة، حيث تسعى شرطة أبو ظبي دائما إلى اكتساب مستويات أعلى من الرشاقة وتعزيزها حتى تتمكن من مواصلة النمو. فمن الأمثلة التي تتميز شرطة أبو ظبي في ضمان استمرارية الأعمال وتقديم الخدمات مع ترسيخ مفاهيم إدارة المخاطر الفعالة والتعامل مع الطوارئ بأعلى قدر ممكن من المهنية والكفاءة للوصول إلى أعلى مستويات التمييز والجودة وبما يخدم الناس ويحقق سعادتهم. نفذت شرطة أبو ظبي الخطة المعتمدة للتدقيق الخارجي عن بعد على مواصفة النظام الإداري المتكامل IMS، حيث قامت شركة لويدز ريجستر بالتدقيق على قطاعي العمليات المركزية والمالية والخدمات ضمن الخطة المتوقع الانتهاء منها في النصف الأول من عام 2020. واستقبلت مراكز التحكم بالقيادة العامة لشرطة أبوظبي ما يزيد عن 41,500 مكالمة من الجمهور على مستوى الإمارة خلال عطلة عيد الفطر السعيد. بلغت نسبة التحول الرقمي لخدمات شرطة أبوظبي 100% ضمن خدماتها القابلة للتحول الرقمي، الأمر الذي انعكس إيجابا على الرضا العام للجمهور عن الخدمات المقدمة بنسبة 98%. وطبقت أكاديمية سيد بن زايد للعلوم الشرطية والأمنية نظام التعلم عن بعد باتباع أحدث التقنيات المتطورة التي تتابع سير العملية التعليمية والتدريبية بشكل متواصل. بلغت نسبة ثقة المجتمع في الشرطة 99%، وبلغ متوسط زمن الخدمة 17 دقيقة ونص، ونسبة امتثال الجهة لمستوى الخدمة في الحكومة أبوظبي 94% من خلال التعامل مع 10,000 حالة عبر مراكز اتصال حكومة أبوظبي. الآن بقي المحور الأخير حول منظومة شرطة أبوظبي المؤسسية الأمنية لما بعد كوفيد-19، حيث استحدثت شرطة أبوظبي منظومة عن بعد الشاملة وسخرت بنية تحتية ورقمية متطورة التي أثبتت رشاقتها ومرونتها المؤسسية في التعامل مع الأزمات وإيجاد الحلول السريعة، حيث حددت الوظائف المناسبة التي تتلائم مع العمل عن بعد، واستفادت من التجارب العلمية الناجحة في هذا المجال، وشجعت العاملين على الاستفادة من إيجابيات هذه المنظومة فيما يتعلق بالقدرات الإنتاجية، وعملت على توفير الأدوات والأنظمة للموظفين لنجاح هذه المنظومة. كل هذه الميزات جعلت شرطة أبوظبي في مقدمة الجهات من حيث الجاهزية والاستباقية في استمرارية الخدمات والتعامل باحترافية مع تداعيات الظروف الاستثنائية. وتجلت فعالية هذه الخطط الاستراتيجية الاستباقية واستثمار شرطة أبوظبي في الخدمات الذكية لعدة سنوات لتجني حاليا ثمار هذا العمل من خلال باقة متنوعة من الخدمات الشرطية الذكية التي أسهمت في استمرار الأعمال، وتمكن جميع أفراد المجتمع من استكمال معاملاتهم من خلال أجهزتهم الذكية. كذلك استخدمت شرطة أبوظبي الذكاء الاصطناعي لتطوير أكثر من 40 نظام أمني، واستخدمت تقنيات الذكاء الاصطناعي الخاص بتحليل البيانات مما ساهم بالاستخدام الأمثل للموارد وتقليل زمن الاستجابة وخفض معدلات الجريمة. كما تركز شرطة أبوظبي على تطوير الكادر البشري وقدراته الابتكارية ليتمكن من التكيف مع المتغيرات المتوقعة في المجال الأمني. وتحرص شرطة أبوظبي على استشراف المستقبل مما يعزز الاستكشاف المبكر للفرص والتحديات في مختلف القطاعات الأمنية وتحليلها، ووضع الخطط الاستباقية بعيدة المدى لها على جميع المستويات لتحقيق إنجازات نوعية للنهوض بالمنظومة الأمنية الشاملة في إمارة أبوظبي وسبل تعافيها، وإرجاع عجلة التنمية على المسار المتسارع كي تكون أقدر على التعامل مع الواقع الراهن بمرونة وفعالية، وابتكار آليات عمل جديدة تشجع آلية تفكير مختلفة تتناسب مع المرحلة المقبلة. ختاما أقدم خالص شكري وتقديري لزملائي تلك العيون الساهرة من ضباط صف وأفراد ومدنيين من منتسبي شرطة أبوظبي على اهتمامهم بأداء الواجب الوطني والتعاون في تحقيق أهداف وتطلعات القيادة في الظروف الحالية. ولقد كان الاتصال وكلمات سيدي سمو الشيخ خالد بن محمد بن زايد آل نهيان عضو المجلس التنفيذي لإمارة أبوظبي رئيس مكتب أبوظبي التنفيذي للاطمئنان سموه على أوضاع موظفي شرطة أبوظبي أثرا كبيرا في قلوب المنتسبين، وزادت من قوة وعزيمة الفرق، وهذا كله من دعم القيادة اللامحدود الذي تحظى به كافة الفرق الوطنية المشاركة في الخطط الأمنية والوقائية وخصوصا الصفوف الأمامية. وفقنا الله جميعا للعمل أن نحافظ على هذه الإنجازات الأمنية بمزيد من التلاحم بين القيادة والشعب، ومضاعفة العطاء والابتكار والتطوير في العمل الشرطي، والارتقاء بالنظام الأمني بصفته اللبنة الأساسية للمخرجات النوعية في شتى المجالات والقطاعات. شكرا على حضوركم وحسن استماعكم، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Colonel Khalfan, thank you for sharing with us some objectives of the Abu Dhabi General Command Institution Leading Model. Our second keynote address will stress out the relevance of coordinating the international policing guidelines of the outbreak to answer the global challenge posed by the COVID-19, and how the GCC pole led the fight against the rise of specific criminal activities in the GCC region. To convey this multilateral cooperation message, I would like you to join me in welcoming Colonel Mubarak Saeed Al-Khayli, the director of the GCC pole. Colonel Mubarak, the audience is yours.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all GCC Pole's officers and employees, we would like to extend our thanks and appreciation to the UAE Ministry of Interior and to the organizers of ISNAR Abu Dhabi for organizing this event and inviting us to be part of it. As a regional partner of this exhibition, GCC Pole appreciates the effective role this exhibition offers as a regional and international platform through which police organizations and national law enforcement agencies can launch their messages and initiatives related to addressing security challenges threats and best comprehensive security solutions and best practices. Through this participation and intervention, we would like to highlight briefly the regional efforts of GCC Pol as part of the collective response to the simultaneous challenges and criminal threats of the corona pandemic at GCC level in particular, and at regional and international levels in general. Ladies and gentlemen, since the beginning of coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, GCC Pol has devoted its efforts to achieving a regional collective response to the criminal threats that are major to the pandemic. In order for this response to be more comprehensive, the international dimension and approach had to be strongly present. Believing that regional and international coordination was a necessity and a priority to address the criminal threats and its implications at the GCC regional and international level. GCC Pol has initiated a criminal threats assessment report to enhance coordination between police and security agencies and to exchange information about methods and criminal phenomena during the pandemic. This report provides detailed monitoring of criminal methods and phenomena associated with corona pandemic. This report also focuses on the future expectation of crime landscape based on current data on criminal phenomena and global reports. This report also represents a regional and international response to the threats and challenges facing police agencies and law enforcement agencies during crisis and abnormal circumstances, as well as highlighting the overall picture of the crime landscape in the context of corona pandemic and the post-pandemic, which contributes to a regional and international response through direct coordination with the strategic partner of GCC Pol to develop strategies and tactics to address threats collectively. Ladies and gentlemen, in an effort to enrich this report with regional and international information and experiences related to criminal threats around the world, GCC Pol monitored and analyzed the information provided by concerned GCC national police agencies, partners from regional and international police organizations, and official reports issued by these agencies in order to achieve the objectives of the GCC in achieving coordination, integration, and interdependence between the countries in all fields. GCC Pol is vigorously seeking to achieve cohesion and integration between the police agencies in GCC countries in natural and exceptional conditions and in situation of crisis and emergencies. Therefore, GCC Pol held several meetings through visual communication in order to build and analyze future prospects of crime landscape after the corona pandemic as following. We organizing meeting of the head of national communication units of GCC Pol, meeting of directors of combating cybercrime at GCC level. Finally, meeting of directors of combating organized and financial crime at GCC level. There has been a significant decrease in the proportion of traditional crime in general during the pandemic due to the impact of the lockdown and quarantine, such as theft cases, murder cases, smuggling cases. However, despite the marked decline in the proportion stake of traditional crime during the pandemic, there is an increase in some forms of cyber and emergence of new criminal methods such as online financial fraud offenses, remorse and incitement via internet, and also promoting substandard medical, pharmaceutical, personal protection products. Ladies and gentlemen, according to the outputs and what has been reached with the specialized police departments in GCC countries about the spread of fraud spoofed online to sell health supplies and the exploitation of the pandemic by spreading rumors, which instills fears and panic in the hearts of citizens and residents. There are several incentives for crime and criminals, such as the presence of most people inside their homes and residence. In general, we have decrease of the traditional crime, and police agencies make a lot of efforts to combat all new form of crimes through the internet. Finally, in view of the criminal challenges, threats and risks that coincided with the corona pandemic, it became extremely important and necessary to strengthen regional and international coordination between all police and national law enforcement agencies and regional and international organizations. Believing in this important axis, GCC Pol has coordinated and communicated directly with Interpol, Europol, ASEANapol, Afripol, Ameripol, Arab Interior Minister Council, General Secretariat, UNODC, and NCA, the British National Agency for Combating Crime. The aim of this approach was to achieve an effective response to current challenges and threats. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to reach a more effective response and readiness to meet these challenges, threats, and risks, we see that we should work hard to achieve the following. Firstly, design and adapt a more effective mechanism and framework for coordinating and organizing police operations regionally and internationally to confront emergency and urgent criminal threats. Secondly, design and adapt more effective mechanism and framework to enhance coordination with private sector and technology companies with the aim of creating a safer internet environment and cyberspace for users. Finally, design and adapt a more effective mechanism to enhance coordination with companies, platforms, and social media networks. At the end of this speech and intervention, we would like to extend our sincere thanks and gratitude to all workers in the health sector for their sacrifices in the face of the pandemic. And again, we would like to extend our thanks and appreciations to all those who organized this webinar and to all speakers and participants, with our wishes of success and good luck to all of you. Thank you.
Colonel Mubarak, thank you for your informative address. I would like to thank all keynote speakers for their time and hope you stay with us until the end of the webinar. As the pandemic sweeps across the globe, technological solutions and initiatives have multiplied to contain and control the spread of the virus adversities. Digital information and surveillance technologies have been unleashed in an unprecedented manner to collect data and reliable evidence to support public safety decision-making. This pandemic has surely accelerated the need for police organizations to become future-ready. Policing technologies fulfilling the objectives of the fight against the COVID-19 virus is the title of the webinar second part. This part of the webinar will comprise panel presentations involving speakers from the GCC Pol, Abu Dhabi Police Innovation and Foresight Department, Dubai Police Unmanned Aerial System Center, Al-Hamra Group, and Motorola Solutions. Cybercrimes activity is unlikely to diminish, and the new cyber threats that have emerged during COVID-19 pandemic will continue to target victims even after the end of the current crisis. Our first presentation is delivered by Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Ahmed Mohammed Rashid Al-Kaabi, advisor at the GCC board. Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Ahmed, can you inform us more on this subject matter?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Due to the restriction and precaution imposed by most countries worldwide because of COVID-19 outbreak, it has restricted the movement of people and stay in their homes, which has led most people to spend most of their time online, whether to work remotely, shopping, or doing any other activities. The dangers of cybercrime have been there for many years, but in this exceptional situation, we see an increase in the percentage of online people, and also due to the anxiety and fear caused by the closure, this has provided more opportunities for cyber criminals to take advantage of this situation and make more money. There are different criminal methods during the pandemic period, as is showing in the slides, notably phishing, which target individuals and encourage them to disclose personal information such as password and credit card numbers through website or fake emails. Criminals have also exploited people's fear using malware such as viruses, worms, Trojan, ransomware, and spyware to invade, damage, steal, or cancel personal data on personal computers. A sharp wave of counterfeit or inappropriate medicine and medical equipment sold at a very high price for the treatment of the alleged coronavirus has been also recorded on an increasing number of well-designed sites by criminals, as well as legitimate crowdfunding campaigns to raise funds to support health institutions under enormous pressure in recent weeks, which in some cases have drifted into alternative criminal websites. On a similar note, there are also cyber government organization and infrastructure that are actively dealing with the response to the virus, with several countries reporting cyber attacks by unknown hackers at the expense of national health institutions, which were critical infrastructure during the outbreak. For example, in Italy, 1st of April, a cyber attack was carried out against the Splanisi Hospital, a center of excellence in the search for the coronavirus. A week earlier, Spanish police also issued a warning that entire computer system from hospital in Spain had been targeted in a cyber ransoming attack against the institution and agencies targeting the state. During the same week, World Health Organization was also attacked. Now, according to global reports, there was a significant increase in online fraud during the pandemic period, which increased up to 350% since January 2020. Information security culture is a way to savor online life. Employees from all organizations of all sizes and types now have a minimal cybersecurity resources, if any, compared to what is normally available to them. If remote workers do not immediately self-educate, and if businesses do not immediately provide their employees with security awareness training centered on the home office threat, then we could see global cybercrime damage cost as much as double by the end of this year. What do I mean by information security culture? Information security culture is an assumption about what is and what is not acceptable in relation to information security. It may, for instance, not to be acceptable to throw a confidential document into a waste basket, but to shred it later. Another example is that it's not acceptable to leave crucial business information in insecure places at home where anyone could access and read it. It should rather to be locked away. Now, future perspective for cybercrime, according to different reports globally, they think and they anticipate a high rate of cyber attacks or remote applications, such as video call and any other application. At the same time, also, fraud, ransomware are expected to be increasing in the coming months, as long as the pandemic there. Money laundering is also another attacks, and the crime could be there in the future. And also high rate of online attacks targeting children, because most of the children are now studying remotely. But we as a law enforcement, we should think outside the box. COVID-19 has forced organization and individual to embrace new practices, such as social distancing, hand washing, sanitizing, and remote working. As law enforcement authorities, we need to think outside the box, as we face two important things in the coming period. The first one is new technologies. For example, fourth industrial revolution technologies that provide the best services to the public and government sector, also maintaining social distance and ensuring working from home. As global companies seek to develop systems and develop new technologies to meet the challenges ahead and to provide the best services to the public and government sector. The second one we need to take into consideration is skilled organized crime groups. And the criminals are also working very hard to find out those technological gaps and create cyber attacks capable of penetrating a new system and technologies. So we are law enforcement should take these two things into consideration for raising their capabilities and readiness to minimize the risk of the future anticipated cybercrime. Law enforcement need to design a list of security scenarios that contains criminal phenomena and methods expected from the use of modern technologies. Law enforcement also need to deliver security awareness program that educate users about cybersecurity risks. Thank you very much.
Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Ahmad, thank you for your valuable information you have underlined during your presentation. The COVID-19 pandemic became a huge challenge that goes far beyond the public health sector. Our second presentation will highlight Abu Dhabi Police innovative methods in the time of pandemic, lessons learned, and the importance of creating new future foresight objectives related to future crisis and disaster management. The presentation is delivered by Major Dr. Mus'ab Al-Shariani, Director of Innovation and Foresight Department at Abu Dhabi Police. Major Dr. Mus'ab, what can you tell us about the role of innovation and foresight during and post the COVID-19 pandemic?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning. It's my great pleasure to be here today. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to participate in this panel. I would like to express my gratitude for all frontline policemen for their tireless work during this exceptional time being experienced all over the world. In this discussion panel, I will try to link the innovation and the future foresight with policing the crime of pandemic in supporting the front line and preparing for the future. Let's start by defining innovation and the future foresight in summary. Innovation can be defined as individuals, institutions, and governments strive to move forward by generating innovative ideas and developing new products, services, and processes that improve the quality of life. While future foresight can be defined as the best prediction of the future and readiness for it through an organized systematic process in which a set of tools, methods, and theories are used to determine the expected and unexpected impacts of current challenges and the future directions locally, regionally, and globally. Our first point is, what is the role of innovation in policing in the time of pandemic? Colonel Al-Mansouri mentioned a number of innovation in his speech Abu Dhabi Police has adopted during the time of pandemic. Abu Dhabi Police is a key pillar of Abu Dhabi's strategy to contain the spread of COVID-19 through the national screening program, as can be seen in the presentation. Innovation can be divided generally into 5 types: innovation in operations, innovation in system and technology, innovation in services, innovation in products, and finally, innovation in policies. The first one is innovation in operations. There are a number of innovation in operations applied during the recent period, like the smart helmet, patrols and drones with loudspeakers and vehicles and personal sterilization centers. And second one, innovation in systems and technology. Abu Dhabi Police invested heavily in IT system and technology, such as remote trial system, remote working systems, radar smart systems, and issue online movement permits during the curfew hours. Third, innovation in services. Abu Dhabi Police General Headquarters is keen to provide police services to the police in various ways and tools. Digitization of policing services was a key to maintain providing the services without any interruption. For example, social consultancy initiative. This initiative aimed at communicating with different categories of society and providing a consultant to society members. Fourth, innovation in products, such as a mobile coronavirus testing center. It has launched by Abu Dhabi Police in partnership with Health Department in the Emirates. Sixth, innovation in policies. From Home to Home initiative, Abu Dhabi Police launched the From Home to Home initiative to enhance its communication with the community and spread awareness message and urgent announcement during the coronavirus crisis. Another initiative is Safe Shopping initiative. Such initiatives play an important role in Abu Dhabi's strategy to contain the spread of COVID-19 through the national screening program. Let's move now to the next point. How future foresight enhanced in preparing for the future of policing in the time of pandemic. The UAE government held virtual meetings to assess the country's strategy for developing the UAE post the epidemic of COVID-19. After the meeting, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President and Prime Minister of UAE and ruler of Dubai, declared that the UAE will review the structure and size of its government as part of its strategy for dealing with the effects of the corona epidemic. Many may merge ministries and alter bodies and will make change for a more agile, flexible, and speedy government. As for Abu Dhabi Police General Headquarters, it has reviewed its central vision to plan for after COVID-19 based on various inputs at the national, regional, and international levels. The implementation of Abu Dhabi Police Centennial Vision is based on 6 main pillars: policeman of the future, proactive security, advanced policing operations, sustainable policing environment, space police, and finally, Abu Dhabi life equality. I would like to share some after COVID-19 ideas related to the main centennial pillars. The first pillar is policeman of the future. periodical monitoring of employees' health and safety using smart chips. Other one is police staff wearing smart uniforms with internet capabilities. The second pillar is proactive security, enhancing cybersecurity capabilities and qualifying the supervising team, developing machines crime and right department and qualifying the supervising team. 70% of decision will be made by support of big data technology. Expand using robots and drones in police operations. Developing objectives to use AI for predicting crimes before they take place. The third pillar is advanced policing operations, developing projects to use AI to monitor and collect data on traffic flow and make decisions regarding road safety and users. Setting up an organizational unit for air traffic police, an initiative for developing building specification to predict and extinguish fire in collaboration with main partners. Setting up an effective security and administrative system capable of anticipating crisis with future scenarios. The fourth pillar is a sustainable policing environment through updating police buildings so that they serve as power plants to generate needs electricity. Other one is generating electricity inventive establishment by transferring inmates' tapes into electricity. The fifth pillar is Abu Dhabi quality of life. Developmental projects using AI to deliver services and make both employees and customers happy. The second one, digital currency. The next one is anticipating services that customers would like to obtain, predictable services. And finally, smart, safe city initiative. After all these ideas, I would like to say the only way we can predict the future is to build it. By stimulating innovation to achieve desired future. We can't build Abu Dhabi police future without engaging individuals, private and public entities to sharing their innovative ideas and sharing the future of Abu Dhabi police. Your suggestions and ideas are welcome to support us in achieving our centennial vision. Finally, thank you to the UAE Leadership Directive and the combined efforts of all entities and stakeholders. Thank you very much.
Major Dr. Mus'ab, thank you for the valuable information you have underlined during your presentation. At the time of COVID-19, drones have replaced helicopter patrols in traditional regular disinfection tasks. Along with aerial surveillance technologies, drones have facilitated the task of enforcing containment and social distancing measures. Our third presentation will inform us on the Unmanned Aerial System Center mission, some of its success practices during the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the center challenges and success stories. The presentation is delivered by First Lieutenant Engineer Muhammad Omar Al-Muhairi, Head of the Unmanned Aerial System Center at Dubai Police. First Lieutenant Engineer Muhammad, the audience is yours.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone and good morning. My name is First Lieutenant Muhammad Al-Muhairi, heading the Unmanned Aerial Systems Center at Dubai Police, which is a section under the General Department of Operations. We have been established a few years ago due to a number of reasons. Well, there are new types of threats that has resulted from this ever-changing and evolving world. And in fact, technology is playing a very big role in it. New advancements give rise to new possibilities. So welcoming such changes put us at an advantage. However, sticking to traditional operations without using the best tools and technologies put us at a huge disadvantage. So the real need of Dubai Police for establishing such a section was to actually embrace innovation and technology to better serve our community. So the role of our section is basically to incorporate unmanned aerial systems technologies to confront any possible danger or threats heads on. We build specialized teams that use UAS technology to perform their tasks efficiently in various other departments within Dubai Police. We also actively participate in research and projects and activities that would help raise awareness and education to the public about UAS technologies and how to use them safely without breaking the law. In the future, we have certain goals and plans to expand. We will continue our research with our external and internal parties on new projects to embrace and promote innovation. During the lockdown period, our section had a major role. We have used drones to communicate with the public in multiple languages to ensure that the community have fully understood the true value of social distancing, to create awareness about the importance of wearing both face masks and gloves to reduce the possibility of transmitting the virus. I remember when we established the section, honestly, the Unmanned Aerial System section center is now a few years old. And I'm delighted and proud to say that ever since it has been in operation, its success has overexceeded its initial expectation. However, this success does not come without any challenges. Our first and biggest challenge was to actually incorporate these new technologies into traditional ways of working and sometimes even replacing them. Over the years, we have had many successful endeavors since the establishment of the center. I'd like to shed light on the most recent one, where we used drones successfully to minimize human interaction wherever possible, especially during the times where the pandemic transmission rates were at their peak. We used drones to communicate and serve the community without having to actually be physically there, where traditionally would have done so. And as a final note, I would like to express my gratitude and say that this was not possible without the endless support and trust provided by His Excellency Lieutenant General Abdullah Khalifa Al-Marri, Commander-in-Chief of Dubai Police, and his team. Thank you very much.
First Lieutenant Engineer Muhammad, thank you for this illustrative presentation on the Unmanned Aerial System Center mission. During a pandemic, public safety authorities must focus on many tasks, with perhaps the most important one being to understand how virus spread and do what is possible to contain or at least slow the spread of the virus. Our fourth presentation explains how a software solution enables public safety authorities to conduct contact tracing more easily and effectively than with traditional methods, helping public safety authorities to make informed decisions. It will also highlight the software different applications for other market sectors. The presentation is delivered by Mr. Ali Al-Mannai, the CEO of Al-Hamra Group. Mr. Ali, the audience is yours.
Thank you, Pierre. Your Excellencies, officers, and experts, thank you so much for letting me here as a privilege to be a keynote speaker to explain the efforts we made in order to participate in containing this epidemic and to make sure that we learned from what we experienced for the past 3 months. Today we are going to talk about the tracking of the virus and what's the difference between the mobile app versus massive tracking solutions that we invested in. Just to give you a quick brief about the major difference between the two technologies. Since the epidemic spread all over the world, all the companies, R&D centers went into the race to find the best solution to contain and to track the virus by either having a mobile app based tracking solution or massive based tracking solution. The idea behind that is to make sure that the law enforcement will apply the rules for the quarantine and making sure that the affected humans will not leave the quarantine locations that specified by the law enforcement, and to make sure that they contain the crisis locations. Such technology is being used for a long time with different applications. With our partners with an experience of more than 15 years, we worked hard to develop the best practices and solutions to make sure that we have a solution that based on mass tracking with unlimited numbers of tracking of a human on the ground. Now, one of the major challenges that is the mobile-based solution that applied by many countries have a lot of challenges and limitations. One of the limitations they have is the app can be, for example, not be downloaded by the affected human, doesn't have the history and the pattern life of that person. Not a lot of people in many locations used smartphones, and this is another challenge as well. All of those challenges can be overcome with the mass-based tracking solution through the mobile, whether it is a normal mobile, 2G mobile, a smart mobile, whatever available device that be used by that person can be tracked with the full history of his life pattern. I'll give an example of how it is can be applied as a software. This is, for example, a simulation. The system can predict the spread of the virus even before it happened. Why? Because they have the full history of all the personnel and the society that moving from home to work to entertainment locations. Such spread can be simulated by the system before even spread and tell you exactly what is the area you have to contain before the spread to eliminate the spread of the virus. Such technology, which based on artificial intelligence and big data analysis, it's very important to be applied, which will reduce the effort of the human resources available by the law enforcement on the ground. And this analysis is very important to be applied as well. When you have that technology applied, of course, there are infected persons who will be quarantined in locations specified by the law enforcement. Now, we can make sure that by applying this technology, they cannot leave the location. And if they decided to leave the location, the system automatically will have them alerted. They can send an automated SMS alerting to their phones, and also they can issue fine for them as per the general autonomy laws and announcements. Such things can be really a very, very powerful tools that can be used by the law enforcement without the challenges we have on the mobile app solution based, which have a lot of procedures to be applied and also subject to whether hacking, for example, which can destroy all the operational efforts being done to reach a certain location. Such technology can be applied on a strategic level to make sure that also not to be used during a crisis and pandemic situations such we are in as Corona, but also can be used in many applications such as national security, which we've been applying it for the past 15 years, also for making sure that we have a neighborhood profiling to specify the locations of the crimes, and also we can use it also for border protection and smuggling to make sure that we controlled all over the border by applying such technology. Also, we can use it in the public and safety, we can use it in critical infrastructure protection, and also for commercial purposes. This technology, it's also can be applied on a strategic location, as a strategic of a country or a government, to make sure that you can apply the quarantine on certain levels of, for example, security, when we are talking about drugs addicted. So, for example, they cannot leave the location. You can follow them. You can you can draw their life button. All the also crimes, money laundering, and what also my colleagues during this session shared with us, whether on the level of the country or whether on the level of the region, for example. This is very important for us to be applied on a strategic level and have it applied to make sure that we have as minimum as possible of layers of human involvement in the procedure and analysis of the data. Given the fact that during the pandemic of COVID-19, we would like to make sure that if we apply such technologies in the future, we can have the early alert, and to make sure that we can contain the spread of the virus before it's getting spread. Just to talk about ourselves as Al Hamra trading establishment, with an experience more than 37 years in the applying technologies for public safety, security, and defense. We are proud to what have been achieved by us with our partners to provide a state-of-the-art passive tracking solution that not depending on a human interaction and forcing them to download an app in their mobile. We just having tracking all the devices available within the jurisdictions of a certain law enforcement to make sure that we contain the spread of the virus, and also can be used in many applications such as security, public safety, and commercial. We'd like to thank everyone for giving me this privilege. And again, we would like to express our thanks to ISNR team and all participants. Thank you very much for having us sharing this with you. Thank you.
Mr. Ali, thank you for this descriptive presentation of a solution using a tried and tested technology. Retooling existing electronic surveillance infrastructure to monitor violators of the different restriction on movement, to the development of applications informing concerned authorities on affected areas, as well as tracking the movement of confined individuals, is the heart of our last but not least of the presentations. The presentation is delivered by Mr. Ivan Roods, the Senior Director of Business Development at Motorola Solutions EMEA. Mr. Ivan, the audience is yours.
Thank you very much to the ISNR team and everyone for attending my presentation. So let me just share my screen. Okay. So again, my gratitude to the team here attending, also to all the attendees. I will explain here what is the latest and greatest at Motorola Solutions, a more than 90-year-old company that I guess everyone knows. So Motorola Solutions has different solutions to prevent, to protect, and to respond to the threat that has brought to the world the COVID-19. Basically, by preventing, we are using electronic security, and we are leveraging AI-based analytics on security cameras, or we can use and repurpose the existing CCTV solutions, because most of the times we don't have the luxury of starting a new CCTV or smart city solution from scratch. So we must leverage the existing infrastructure and the systems available. Second part is to protect the frontline officers, frontline police or security personnel. So we are using body-worn cameras, also manufactured by Motorola Solutions, in order to protect the officers and to grab the evidence of what's happening in the frontline activity. As well, we are providing the on-vehicle equipment, on-vehicle cameras to close the loop on the security provided by fixed CCTV solutions, by the body-worn cameras that have been worn by the security officers or police officers, and that on-vehicle cameras are also providing the last bit and the last piece of the security based on CCTV and artificial intelligence. Last but not least, we are responding to the threat, also enabling access control solutions on those indoor areas. By those access control solutions, we are identifying the individuals that have been infected by COVID-19, and we can do the tracing of where that person has been, with whom that person might have been in touch with. Last but not least, also on the respond area, we are using thermal cameras made by Motorola Solutions, or we can also use third-party solutions in order to detect the temperature of people entering a site or in a certain building, accessing a public transport system like a metro, monorail, whatever is available in the different places. These thermal camera solutions are, trending topic these days, as most of you know. I would really like to emphasize that this is not a solution that is 100% accurate. From a background of working with the biggest supplier of thermal imaging cameras in the world, and I must say that it's highly recommendable to read articles by independent studies like IPVM in order to understand better the best practices related to thermal imaging cameras and fever detection. It's a very hot topic, and it's something that people should be aware of best practices that should be applied here. On the analytics and artificial intelligence, the areas that we are mainly tackling here are the proximity detection. So keeping the social distance is key in order to avoid the virus spread. So Motorola Solutions have created a set of analytics in order to measure the distance between people. We don't have to calibrate cameras. I know, for example, Abu Dhabi police could never calibrate or invest the time to calibrate each and every camera of the dozens of or even thousands of so many thousands of cameras that you have. Also the same thing in Dubai and many other cities in the GCC countries and Middle East. So the system learns through the artificial intelligence engine, learns by itself what is what is the normal scene, and it can measure the distances between people. Whenever there's a violation of the distance, it can trigger an alarm or simply can provide reports of where the social distances is not being kept by people, and to generate the best practices and allow the health and safety departments to allow the to put in place the tools to facilitate that social distance. Face mask detection, that's a second tool that we are providing. So our cameras can detect when someone is wearing a mask or when that person is not wearing a mask. Not only that, again, the important feature here is to bring the attention to the operator when that is happening. Not necessarily create an alarm every time someone is not wearing a facial mask, but again, allowing the health and safety departments to create the proper reporting mechanisms in order to put in place the proper signaling in those areas where facial mask is not being used, or allow police officers to be preventing that to happen in those areas. Again, last but not least, the thermal imaging cameras are used together with a black body source in order to detect the high temperature. That tool, like I said before, should be used with proper care, and you know, it's not something easy. It's not that anyone is using in a proper manner. So this is something to really pay proper attention. There's another analytic, which is the maximum occupancy. So there are places in which we want to make sure that that we don't reach the maximum occupancy. So again, the Motorola and Avigilon cameras are being used in order to detect the maximum occupancy and provide the proper reporting mechanisms for that. This is a use case that is, again, a kind of trending topic these days. So using either a Motorola solutions or a third-party thermal camera together with a CCTV solution to detect someone might have high temperature. So we could take that picture of that person and through an analytic or artificial intelligence appliance, provide metadata and be able to track that person within hundreds or even thousands of cameras that might be available. So with that, we might use two types of technologies, either what we call appearance search technologies, when in some places facial recognition is not allowed. We use appearance search technologies to right-click on a certain individual and find that person across my installation. That hasn't to be confused by the proper AFR, automatic face recognition engine, which is on the right-hand side. So Motorola solutions have both technologies, either the one which is a proper facial recognition with a proper database of records, or the other one, which is the appearance search technology, that is, let's say, a different type of approach to a similar type of need. Last but not least, we have developed a few apps in order to do the tracking and to help officers with the pandemic issues. So the first app is the field registration app. So basically, people, citizens, will register themselves through an app on an iOS or Android system. It has a built-in LPR, and we can also register the driver license and ID of the person. So with that, we start to grab records of the citizens, of course. There's a second app, which is the self-quarantine app. So this app is compliant with HIPAA, which is securing the patient data protection. So it has been compliant with the HIPAA in the US. It has a built-in face recognition engine. So when someone is detected to have a COVID-19, the police officers can track that person. We can interact with that person in order to verify that that person is in the right place where he has to be. We can interact with questions. We can interact also by doing the facial recognition of that person, and the system is prepared not to be fooled by pictures of the person being shown to the camera. So it's an intelligent app that is taking care of that aspect of the security. Of course, it's geo-referenced and has all the GPS location verified. It helps the officers to track the patient status and keep track of the activity of that person that should be in lockdown. Last but not least, here we do the contact tracing apps, so we can find through the artificial or automatic face recognition engine people that have been detected with COVID-19. If we find them in any of the cameras that we have, where we have the automatic face recognition available, we can fire alarms to the main system, main CCTV control room, in order to warn that that person is not in the proper lockdown. Again, both technologies, automatic face recognition or appearance search technologies, can be used to support that requirement. Last but not least, like I said before, Motorola Solutions is a more than 90-year-old company, so we are producing different technologies, not only for the critical and mission critical radio communications, which is what we have been known for, for the last 90 years, as I said. We are also quite focused these days on video security. So we have invested a lot of money on acquisitions of leading companies in the CCTV industry, in the security industry. So by body-worn cameras, Aviginal Technologies, CCTV. Recently, Indigo Vision was acquired by Motorola, and we are building as well an ecosystem of solutions called Command Central Aware that is bringing all pieces together from a security standpoint, and we can add social media feeds. So basically, it's a mission critical ecosystem of solutions that we are putting in the hands of police departments all across the globe. With this, thank you very much to the audience. Thank you very much to the ISNR committee for inviting us to provide this presentation, and open for questions and anything the audience might require from Motorola Solutions. Thank you.
Ivan, thank you for your presentation and the time you granted us from your weekend break. I would like to thank all our panelists for the time and hope they stay with us until the end of the presentation. Now it's time for part 3. As mentioned during the introduction, the third part of the webinar will be dedicated to the audience questions related to the topic discussed by our esteemed panelists. These questions have been selected from the Q&A box by the panelists themselves or by a dedicated team from the organizer's side. Let us start with a question for the Major General. Okay. Major General Al-Raisi, has the national sterilization program in the Emirates achieved its goal?
Yes, I think the national sterilization program has achieved its goal. While COVID-19 has not yet been completely eradicated, the UAE and the curve has definitely been flattened and life began to return to normal. Through strict regime of cleaning, maintaining social distances, and massive amount of testing of the population of the COVID-19 virus has now been brought under control. I think the measures also remain in place where appropriate, such as restrictions on number of people involved in meetings and social gathering, etc. But activities like air travel, air expect to see further relaxation in the coming months. The police have played an important role, not only enforcing local pandemic laws, but also in reducing and assisting the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Major General, for your answer. I have a question for Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Ahmed from the GCC Post. There's a question saying, how has crime rate have changed over the COVID-19 period?
Yeah, crime really have changed dramatically during COVID-19, because we see, as I mentioned earlier in my slides, most of people spend most of their time online. For example, also criminal methods have been witnessed in Europe, where elderly people, it is difficult for them to go and buy things online. So because of the lockdown, they cannot go physically and get their things done. However, they were forced to use the internet to get their things done. So I think we all moving to cyberspace and all type of a human being and ages. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your answer. There is a question for Abu Dhabi Police. What are the challenges so far in the acceptance of such technology-intensive artificial intelligence in the police force? How are you managing the resistance so far?
We in Abu Dhabi Police developed an AI strategic plan linked with the UAE government strategy for artificial intelligence strategy. And also we initiated a dedicated section in IT department which is responsible to adopt all the AI technologies to improve our services, which result in improving the public confidence in the policing services provided. Also, we have the Safe City initiative, which contain of a number of the softwares which also adopted the AI systems, and also many other projects launched recently during the last year, such as the smart patrols, which having the face recognition and AI systems.
Thank you for your reply. I have a question for Dubai Police. First Lieutenant Muhammad, for the UAV used during COVID-19 and after it, does Dubai Police have any more technology on the department to use on the UAV, such as traffic control, beach security, port safety?
As mentioned earlier, the role of the section established was to establish specialized teams in other departments of the Dubai Police. Specifically talking about the traffic, we are establishing a traffic drone unit. For example, they have a use case to reconstruct accidents instantly using drones. So yes, we are open and looking forward for different use cases being used at Dubai Police. And we encourage solution providers to get in contact with us, to work with them and to developing these specialized use cases.
Thank you for answering this question. I have a question for Ivan. Ivan, regarding the applications you have developed, the question is there regulations to cover these issues?
Regulations in terms of for the say again, sorry?
Using the application, are there regulations for these applications?
So the applications that we are using are coming from we repurposed solutions that we were using for the prisons for the correctionals. So I don't see any issue with GDPR. In Europe, we have not detected any kind of restrictions of use. I don't see any issue in the GCC countries at all. On the part of the analytics and automatic face recognition solutions, that's a different question. We are seeing more and more restrictions, of course, in Europe with GDPR, with General Data Protection Regulation. We are seeing more and more resistance for the use of automatic face recognition engines in the US. It's coming more and more as an issue. We don't see that in the GCC countries. It's different there. That's why we are using two types of technologies. One is the what we call the automatic face recognition, and the other one is the appearance search technology that overcomes the issue of you know where there is resistance for the automatic face recognition solutions. So we are using both just for that purpose.
Okay, I have another question for you, Ivan. What do you recommend to secure the right data analytics results in an integrated surveillance system? And today there are different sensors involved.
Yeah, so basically we are doing two things for the artificial intelligence and for the analytics. We are doing the analytics on the edge, which helps securing helps with the cybersecurity threats that many other companies have. So everything that we develop at Motorola Solutions, we have the cybersecurity issues on top of our heads. In addition to that, it's very important to the use of metadata together with the video solutions. So our understanding of being able to search very fast on hundreds or thousands of cameras with Dubai, any other big city, it's extremely important the use of metadata, so that instead of trying to find evidences or threats on thousands of cameras and searching on video, we are searching on metadata. So as best practices on the analytics, on the artificial intelligence, the use of metadata is key on our side. We took the leadership in the industry to create, separating ourselves from the camera supply only to the intelligence by the use of artificial intelligence, analytics, and metadata.
Thank you. I have a question for Mr. Ali. Mr. Ali, can you tell us more about personal confidentiality information when it's used in your software?
Yes. Again, the information being analyzed by the software, it's using the artificial intelligence to analyze a huge amount of data without a human interaction. And from a privacy and security perspective on having that data maintained, it is inside the engine of the software and have no access of the human or the operators to go deep and check the data. In case the regulations or the high level of law enforcement or general attorney decided to go and access to that data, of course it can be done, but on the level of operation and operators, it is fully automated and analyzed by the system and give the analysis to the operator so he can forward the report to superiors to have further actions.
Thank you, Mr. Ali. I have one for Lieutenant Engineer Muhammad regarding remote drones dispatch. How close is the usage of
Is it possible to repeat the question? The voice broke up.
Hi, I think we have a little problem with the connection of Pierre, so I will ask the question if you don't mind, first lieutenant. So the question was, how do you see the collaboration with drones solutions provider to help in your new missions? Any proof of concept, pilot, or things like that that have been implemented closely with the solution providers?
As mentioned earlier, one of our roles is to actually participate in research when it comes to developing use cases for drones. So we encourage solution providers to get in contact with us at UAS at dubaipolice.gov.ae. We are more than happy to discuss with them possible solutions and to work hand in hand to developing solutions where deemed needful.
Thank you very much. Thank you for answering. So I think we are close to the end. I would like, before we go for the closing words, to give a final word to His Excellency Major General Dr. Ahmed Al-Raisi, who really pleased us for staying until the end. Thank you very much, Major General. So just a couple of words, I would say, as a wrap-up of this webinar before I go for the conclusion.
Thank you, Melanie. First, I would like to thank all of the attendees for participating in this virtual conference today and making the time available in your busy schedules. For the immediate future, this form of professional interaction has become the new normal. I'm sure as we develop the technologies further, we will successfully adapt to these new moods as a human always have. I have found the exchange of view enlightening and refreshing, as I hope that you also have. Thank you once again to everybody. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. So I have the pleasure to close this webinar. It's coming until the end. Again, we had, I take on the floor of Pierre, and would like to thank him for moderating this webinar. I would like, first of all, to thank all the speakers and ask him if you, I think you're all online, and I would like really to make a nice picture. So maybe if we can remove the slide and just make sure that everybody is looking front head, so we can have a nice souvenir from this webinar so thank you very much. I think it's perfect. Thank you. On behalf of my team, I would like to thank, of course, all the esteemed speakers for their participation and to have enriched the webinar content. Also, of course, the audience. The success is not without any audience, and really it's very important for us to feel the commitment of our community and keep it alive. And on the last note, but not least, I would like really to make sure for you to complete the survey. Again, your feedback is very important for us because, you know, it's a series of webinars we are running now, and we'd like to improve it, you know, day by day. So your feedback is very important, and also it will allow you to receive your e-certificate, because we managed to have certification by the Security Institute, which is a UK international institute for the certification. So again, it's very important. And I would like just to say a few words. I can see Pierre is back. So do you want to close, Pierre? I just took the...
I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you that I'm connected from Lebanon. And you know, there are surprises every half an hour. Okay, what I have missed.
I will, if you don't mind, I will just make the very final words. It's really...
I think the final word is for the Major General to say.
We did already. We did.
Okay.
He missed the picture, the final picture.
Yes, maybe we can make a, yes, we will make it afterwards, of course, with Pierre. I would like really to remind about this ISNR Abu Dhabi webinar series. We have an upcoming one in approximately 2 weeks, which will be on Wednesday 15th. The theme of this one will be pretty different. Although we are talking about managing amid COVID-19 crisis, and we will put the spotlight on cloud security, so which is another topic from the policing. And we'll try to bring very interesting speakers, as always, to discuss about the dilemma of security, data sovereignty, and scalability. With regards to adopting cloud security. So until next time, I would like really to remind you to stay safe and resilient. And maybe as Pierre is back, we'll just go back for the last picture, if you don't mind, because I don't see the picture without Pierre, of course, who did an excellent contribution to this webinar. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you very much. I'm closing now this webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.